for those that don't know about you, you have been an A-list celebrity marketer. You've been doing some of the most incredible campaigns for some of the most incredible people. You have one of the top 10 podcasts in business. And not only that, but you also produce the show, the 60-Day Hustle. So you are doing things that people are like, wow, how did you get there? But let's start with the obvious, right, Robert? Why red? Why You're red? always wearing red.
So the short story, the red part is, a lot of what I teach as a marketer is you've got to stand out, get attention, and be memorable, okay? And I always teach people see 1,000 ads a day. So how do you be the one they remember? And when I started really focusing on my personal brand, I stepped out of my agency, had a CEO takeover. I really wanted to grow my personal brand and teach marketing courses, content. So I said, I'm going to do this big red brand because it was my favorite color. And everyone says, don't use red in marketing because it means warning. And my whole life, I do the opposite of what everyone says to do. So it was fitting. And it just started with like a backdrop and a red jacket, nothing too crazy. And now, fast forward 4 years and we have a big podcast called The Red Life. We have, 4 offices around the world, all in red. All the staff wear red. Everyone knows me as this guy in red that wears this big red jacket, and it kind of compounded to what it is today.
So what made you make the risk? Because you said, go against the grain. Go against what everyone tells you. Because that's a ballsy move.
Sure, yeah.
Because everyone's going to say, don't do this, you're going to fail. Like a friend of mine always says, that when I market, I want the AT&T colors. I want the blue, I want the orange, because everyone's familiar with it. Yeah. And it's ballsy what you did. Why'd you do it, and how'd you know it was going to be a success?
Well, my whole life's doing the opposite of what everyone else does, so it's just normal for me almost. Like, I like to be different. I grew up in school being different. Like, I always joke I'm British, if you can't tell from the accent, but I don't like soccer, I don't drink beer, or I don't drink tea. So I'm like the worst British guy. Yeah, and even in school, I remember I supported Brazil in the World Cup. They knocked England out, and everyone hated me. So I was always used to.
So that's why you left England.
Always used to,
because they would kill you.
I was always used to being different, So stuff like that doesn't bother me. And generally, you look at the world's most successful people in life, they're all very polarizing, they're all very different, and they all do the opposite of what everyone says. And one of my biggest, I don't have many fears in life, probably my biggest fear is being normal. So
I hear that.
It's interesting because another role model that I've had in life was Richard Branson.
Yep.
And I've seen that you've been doing a lot of things within Necker Island. So how is working with these type of individuals for you?
Yeah, I think I am where I am today and as the success I've got today because I've surrounded myself with great people. I've always been great at building good relationships with really powerful people. And I think part of that is because I am different. There's a level of curiosity and interest, right? That, successful people meet thousands of people, but again, I think I stand out and I'm a little different and, also achieved a lot by the age of, I'm 33 now, but by 30 I had achieved a lot. So I think that gauges their, gets them interested. And meeting those people is, like I said, it's why I'm here today, because I think the best way to learn is through mentorship, through experience, and then one of the most powerful things in business is connection. So,
But let me challenge you on something. There's only so far the look, the red that this can get you, that you have to perform for these clients, right?
Of course.
So what's the secret sauce that made people want to keep coming back, right? Because you can have the look, you can have the visual, and people are like, you're great, but if you're a dud at what you do, they're going to be like, this guy's a fraud or a phony. Yeah. Just like you see in 90% of social media, there's a lot of fraudsters.
Sure.
So what is the secret sauce to your success in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, I teach marketing and branding is like when you go to a food court and they hand out a little taster in the little dish, right? Little paper dish. And that's got to taste good and the food's got to look good. But at the end of the day, the whole experience and the whole, entree needs to be great if you want to build a long-term brand. Sure. And I think it's a little different for me because a lot of the, nowadays there's so much fakeness on social media and all of these things. But I had been marketing and building businesses for 10 years before I built my own brand. Like I had already done over $10 million myself before I even started my Instagram account. Right, I made my first million at 25, and then generated over 100 million for clients by 30. So it's a little different, I think, because I had done the 10 years, and actually that experience of making all this money for other people with my agency and my partnerships made me realize, wow, I'm helping this person with 10 million followers make $10 million. I want to cut out the middleman and just have the 10 million followers myself and make all the money. Sure. So I think it's kind of one of those things where I paid my dues for 10 years first, and most people, especially in today's age, they want to skip the 10 years of paying your dues, right? That's like the liposuction of fitness.